morning. I'm Allison Cossack.
And I'm George Howell. It is 7 o'clock on the east, 4 o'clock on the west. You are watching Noonday Sunday.
This is CNN Breaking News.
And all morning, we have been following this breaking news. Actor Paul Walker has died.
And we're learning more about the fiery car crash that killed him. We've got some new footage of the Inferno taken just moments after the crash. We're going to show you just a few seconds of it here. Look at this.
Go away, the guys in there. He died. Go!
Wow, you look at that. Police say speed was a factor. The star of the Fast and Furious franchise was only 40 years old. Friends, family, co-workers, and fans around the world are shocked by this. Many of them saying his death came way too soon. CNN
entertainment correspondent Nichelle Turner joins us now. Nichelle, good morning to you. What else are you hearing about what may have caused this crash?
Well, that's a good question, Allison. We're not getting a lot of answers right now because police say this investigation is ongoing. But you're right when you talk about the shock, the sadness, and complete surprise at the news that Paul Walker was killed in this fiery car crash. Let's take a look back at what happened yesterday.
Right behind you.
One of Hollywood's most bankable stars, Paul Walker, who has made a name for himself in the Fast and Furious movie franchise, died in a fiery car crash in Santa Clarita, California. A second person also died in the accident. Both were attending a charity event for Walker's organization, Reach Out Worldwide. The event was intended to benefit the victims of Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines. The crash happened just north of Los Angeles on Saturday afternoon. According to his representative, Paul Walker was not driving the 2005 Porsche. When deputies arrived, the car was on fire. Both people in the car pronounced dead at the scene. All that remains, burnt, mangled metal and a light pole that's been knocked down. Authorities say speed was a factor. Walker wasn't just a car enthusiast on screen. Off screen, the actor competed in the Redline Time Attack Racing series. He had been filming the 7th installment of Fast and Furious at the time of his death. Hollywood has been reacting this morning with condolences coming in from Will Smith, Jack Osborne, DMX, and many others. Quote, "No" at Real Paul Walker. "No, no, no," tweeted actress Alyssa Milano. Walker guest appeared with her in the 80s comedy Who's the Boss? "Rest with angels, you sweet boy." And you know, it's interesting because a lot of his other co-stars and friends are reacting as well as Alyssa Milano. Let me read a couple of things that people were sending out on Twitter. Ludacris, his co-star in Fast and Furious, tweeted, "Your humble spirit was felt from the start. Wherever you blessed your presence, you always left a mark." His co-star Vin Diesel, who he was good friends with as well, put on Instagram, "Brother, I will miss you very much. I am absolutely speechless. Heaven has gained a new angel. Rest in peace." Also, we're hearing from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He tweeted, "All my strength, love, and faith to the Walker family during this heartbreaking time. We find our strength in his light. Love you, brother." So you're just hearing some of from some of his friends and cohorts in Hollywood. You know, Paul Walker had a 15-year-old daughter named Meadow, and a lot of people that were tweeting, a lot of celebrities last night were giving condolences to her and talking about the fact that that was the love of his life, and really sending out condolences in that way. Guys, we also mentioned that they were shooting Fast and Furious 7, the next installment of the franchise. They had started shooting that in September in Atlanta. We're set to wrap filming on December 14th, and we're told that Paul Walker was in Los Angeles visiting his friends and family for the Thanksgiving holiday and was headed back to Atlanta this week to finish filming the movie.
Well, you know, Nichelle, it's still very early, we know, but, you know, there are already comparisons being made to his Hollywood character in Fast and Furious and the real-life event here. I mean, is there any connection?
Well, you know, I'm a fan of the franchise, George, myself, and so I have been watching it since the beginning. And in the beginning of the franchise, we see Brian O'Connor, who was Paul Walker's character, and he is an undercover cop trying to infiltrate this street car racing gang. And he's a little bit of a loose cannon at times, a little bit of a wild child. And Paul Walker has said, you know, that was kind of me back in the day, and I kind of evolved as my character Brian O'Connor evolved, and now we see Brian in the franchise as this guy who loves his family and will do anything for his family, and that's who Paul Walker says that he is. It's interesting too because he said he kind of started identifying with Brian, and when people on the street would say, "Hey Brian, he knew they were talking to him, but when they would say, hey, Paul Walker, it took him a second to compute. So he really did start to identify with who he is. Also off screen, we said he was a car enthusiast. He called himself a metalhead and a self-described adrenaline junkie. He loved cars. He loved the body of a car. It kind of made him happy, he said. And guys, by the way, we talk about the popularity of this franchise, Fast and Furious, and that he was one of the most bankable stars in Hollywood. Here's something to leave you with. Domestically, last summer, Fast and Furious 6 made $238 million. Worldwide, this movie made $788 million.
Wow.
He was a bona fide movie star.
It clearly was, especially seeing all that outpouring on social media. You know, just everybody's stunned about this. All right, Nichelle Turner, thank you. And we have much more to come on Paul Walker's death, so stay with CNN throughout the morning as we get new information on his passing. We're going to bring it to you.
Now, on to Scotland. Candles will be lit today in Glasgow at a cathedral for the victims of a deadly helicopter crash.
Emergency